So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact new customer acquisition strategy we used on Google Ads to generate this brand 600 to 800 Shopify recorded new customers every single month and revenues of between £300 and £350,000 every single month from the 6-month period we've been working with them. In fact, this strategy actually resulted in the record-breaking day, week and month for revenue for this brand and consistently increased new customer acquisitions every single month within the NCAC, new customer acquisition cost, goals we had. And this was all done from ad spend ranging between £20,000 to £30,000 per month. Now, this strategy actually included Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and SEO, but for this video, I'm going to talk about what we specifically did with Google Ads because there was actually a lot of problems we encountered and we had to overcome. So in this video, I'm actually going to break down the brief from the client, the problem we faced with this account, the solution, which is broken down into consumer psychology, because this is really important for new customer acquisition, and also the technical execution of the problem we had to overcome with this account. So the brief from this client was actually slightly different from what we normally get, which is to maximize ROAS, to maximize ROI. This client only wanted new customers. So our results were measured on the new customer acquisition cost. Why, may you ask? Well, this client had a great product and understood their lifetime value due to a lot of repeat purchases and the subscription model they used. And most importantly, target CPA, or the NCAC we had to achieve, was a fraction of the lifetime value of the customer for this client, which equals profitability. Now, the problem we encountered with this e-commerce client was the fact they operated in the health and fitness sector. And what this results in is a limitation of the reach you can achieve with your Google Shopping ads being free or paid. And not only did we have that problem, but we were also not allowed to use customer match lists. And the problem with not being able to use customer match lists is that we cannot optimize our campaigns to bid higher or only for new customers, which is a setting you have in your search and performance max campaigns. And it's the easiest way to optimize for new customers, but we can do that. So how did we overcome this? And this is where we had to really brainstorm the solution to this problem because it was pretty big. So first of all, let's break down the consumer psychology we wrapped into this strategy for this client. And this is where the 5 stages of the decision-making process come into it. At number 1, problem recognition. Now, this is where the consumer actually recognizes they have a need or problem that needs to be solved through a purchase. Number 2, they have information search. Now, our users, our shoppers are actually a lot more savvy than they used to be, and they want to make sure they're getting the best deal or the best product for their problem. And this is when they go into information search. Step 3, when they found out a bit more information about the problem and they found a product that could solve it, they actually want to do a little bit more shopping to make sure they're getting the best quality product. And this is all done through alternative search, which is when you're looking at your competitors to find a product that best fits this user's requirements. And number 4 is the purchase decision, when they've actually got enough trust in this brand and this product to solve their problem, so they go through the purchase. And finally is number 5, which is the post-purchase evaluation. And this is when they want to see if they are satisfied or dissatisfied with the product they have purchased from your brand. So the reason we focus quite a lot on consumer psychology with this strategy is because we needed to focus on the top 3 stages of the decision-making process, which is problem recognition, information search, and alternative search. And this is what we did to wrap it into our strategy. With the problem recognition, what we wanted to do is to create demand generation campaigns to spread the awareness of this problem that the user may have. And what this is messaging called problem aware. It scratches the itch that the user has. And a significant amount of creatives, being video and imagery we used for this, was UGC. And what's really good about this is it adds a lot of social proofing behind your product through your satisfied customers. And people buy from people. They need enough trust, and reviews and social proofing through UGC give that user enough trust to purchase with you. It's very effective. And the second stage, which is information search, is where we did something a bit more interesting. This is where we used campaigns which we call disco words or discovery words. And what we do with this is actually look at the long tail keywords of the problems people are searching for on Google around our product and around the problem we solve. And the reason we did this is because this client had existing SEO content and very good blogs around the problem solution of their product. So what we wanted to do with paid is boost it up the rankings. And why we wanted to do this is because we could be at the top of the listing for this user in the information search stage of the decision making process. Then moving down onto the alternative search stage of the decision making process, we did 3 things. We made sure we have a lot of us versus them product page content, us versus them ad creatives, and also used a competitor campaign on Google Ads. This is because with the us versus them mentality of messaging and ad creative and content, we can preempt the questions that this user may have by visually showing them how we compare to our competitors. So now let's actually break down the strategy of what we used. And it's actually no different to the strategy we use across most of our clients. It was just more focused on the top of funnel awareness generating campaigns. So at the top of funnel, which this is what this stands for, top of funnel, we have our demand generation campaign. And the way we like to break this down isn't always exactly like this, but an example of what you can do is have your top performing product 1, top performing product 2, product group 1, product group 2, or brand intro. You can also throw in blog contents and problem aware type of messaging on this as well. And then in the middle of funnel, we have our performance max campaigns, which we broke into our regular higher demand, lower demand of feed only segmentation. And then we follow that up with a competitor campaign, which is when that user is in the alternative search stage of the decision making process. And finally, in the bottom of funnel, we have a brand campaign, which we had limited budget going to. So now we've gone over the consumer psychology and how we wrapped it into our actual strategy. And this is where it got a little bit technical because we couldn't optimize for new customers in our Google Ads account and we couldn't see how many new customers we were generating. So let's break down exactly what we did to overcome this. So first of all, we didn't actually use any fancy software for this. We didn't use Tripleware, we didn't use Hyros, we didn't use anything else like that. We simply used Shopify data. So the technical execution consisted of 3 things: campaign UTMs, Shopify new customer reports, and exporting this into a Google Sheet where we could also wrap into it the ad spend levels. Now let me explain all of that. Starting with campaign UTMs. Adding campaign UTMs, specific campaign UTMs, into our campaigns, which looks something similar to this, meant that we could pull through data into the second stage, which is Shopify new customer reports. So within our Shopify new customer reports, thanks to the campaign UTMs we added, we could actually see which campaigns were generating us new customers. So from having that UTM data, we could actually pull this into our Shopify new customer reports. And by adding the column of UTM campaign name, we could genuinely now see the new customers we were generating per campaign. However, what we couldn't see was the cost per new customer for these campaigns. We could only see the volume of new customers. So in order to overcome that step, we then wanted to export this data from Shopify into a Google Sheet and then mix this with the spend we were getting from Google Ads. So we had to import it from Shopify to Google Sheets, and then we had to import our ad spend data to Google Sheets and mix those together so we could see the cost per new customer acquired. And what this resulted in was something like this, which is very, very basic for what I've just explained. But what it shows to us now is our campaigns, our ad spend, our new customers acquired, and the new customer acquisition cost. So now instead of reviewing the performance within Google Ads, we actually reviewed the performance in this Google Sheet. So in summary, that was the brief we had from the client, the problem we had to overcome with this strategy, and the solution we came up with in order to combat it. So if you're an e-commerce brand and you can actually use customer match lists, which the majority of you will be able to, I definitely recommend you to optimize for new customers within your campaign settings. However, I also recommend you to make the most of the Shopify new customer report by utilizing campaign UTMs and pulling that data into Shopify so you can check it over. So that's it from me for this video. But if you're an e-commerce brand and you would like to see how we could help improve the performance of your Google Ads, then please go to the link in the description and book a call with me to see how we can help increase your ROI with Google Ads.